Good evening, all. Whoop.
How are you, Bob?
I'm well, thanks. I wasn't sure if you guys could hear me.
I heard you. I just had to unmute myself.
Hello, Dion. I see Dion, Robert, Nick.
Hey, Bob.
Okay.
Brian's joining.
I had a hard time joining from this meeting's agenda. I had to go
Yeah,
back.
I couldn't get in. I had to go to an old one.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a tech person, but the link didn't seem to be live.
No. Normally when you go there, the fingers come up where you can click, and you couldn't do it on this one.
It looks like the way it was uploaded that it wasn't a link that you could click.
Oh,
Yeah. Dion, did you hear from anyone that they?
No,
Dion, can you
Cynthia's,
hear me? Oh, you're okay.
Cynthia is joining us right now.
Did anyone have success joining this meeting by using the link from tonight's agenda?
No,
I don't use that.
I had to go back to an old email.
Yeah, okay.
exactly.
Problem. It worked fine for me.
Huh.
I just copy and pasted it from an old agenda. Nothing's different.
All right, there's D, okay. Yeah. And it looks like Karen is trying to get in as well. Hello, Karen. Hello, D. I guess, is anyone getting a text or any notice from anyone who's trying to get into the meeting and cannot?
Matt's attempting to get in, so I'll send him the link and he can join us.
All right. In the meantime, it's 7:02. Why don't we call to order tonight's meeting, regular meeting of the Board of Finance, Tuesday, November 10th. And let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Maybe just going down the agenda. Let's see. I really don't see anybody from the public. Dion, do you?
No,
And so no public input. Do we have any correspondence?
no.
Okay. Before we jump to the approval of the minutes, I just want to point out that in the materials that Dion sent out include the information that is the September unemployment information for Connecticut. You may recall in our last meeting, well, for those who were there or perhaps who viewed the meeting, both Mike and Janice gave a presentation on the state of the state economy and state of the local economy. They had unemployment information, local unemployment information through the end of August. And they committed to get to us updated September unemployment information as soon as it was available. So that was sent to us by Janice, and Dion included it in the information. So to those, to those who are interested, it's in the materials that Dion sent on out. All right, it's not an agenda item. I don't think we need to talk about it. It really is a continuation of, or the sending of materials from a prior meeting. All right, why don't we then go to the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting, October 13th, 2020. The minutes were distributed early, so I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as submitted. All right,
A second.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Sorry, I'll make the motion.
Okay,
Sorry.
Robert seconded. For those who were there and in favor of the meeting minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Abstention for the other members. We don't have Matt yet?
No. I
Is
sent
Matt
him
go-
another link, so he should be logging on. Here he is.
Good evening, Mr. First Selectman.
Yeah, sorry for the annoying dog.
It's all right. I'll see you down there in a little bit.
Okay.
Mhm.
Matt, can you hear us? Or hear me, I guess. Yeah, all right. We're at the point of the agenda to consider the 304 stainless steel dump body initially in July. Are you going to present this?
Yeah, if I can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
The board will recall a couple months ago, we approved the chassis and drivetrain. This is a Mr. Dibble special that he is constructing a patch truck. And this is the second part of that purchase, which is the heated body to carry asphalt and hot patch. Oh, I see Dean's bringing up the document. So at the time we approved the purchase, the bid had not gone out yet on the body. And this is it, Truck Builders of Connecticut. And the amount of the bid is $42,381, as you can see. So this, the body is just, the cab and chassis is just about ready. It's going to be ready within the next week. So we wanted to approve this so we can have this ready for snow season. That's what it's used for.
Again, Matt, if I could jump in here, if
Sure.
everybody remembers, the dollar amount was right, but this is not just a truck body. This is a 9.5 foot V plow. It's obviously a body that's heated for cold patch, but I see it's got a sanding conveyor built into it.
Mhm.
And a hoist in it. So
Mhm.
if you had to say it's 42,000 for a body, I would say you're crazy. But if you read into everything, the hoist, the snow plow that's mounted on the front of it,
Yeah.
obviously a conveyor body, so it's a sanding body also. So
Yeah.
it's a big dollar amount, but there's a lot in there. If anybody doesn't really know what this all is.
Yeah, correct. And I apologize. Bob was not available to be on tonight. And like I said to Nick earlier today, I'm not a specialist in trucks. But yeah, this is, everything we do is in highway is to the best of our ability is multifunction so that we have as much versatility as possible. So yeah, this does have those other functions as well as the patch.
Any more questions for Matt? Not, hold on, I don't see Brian and Cynthia, but and Karen, I don't see their hands up. Okay, with no further
I make a motion that we approve $42,381 to finish up the cab chassis we bought a couple months ago.
Okay, looks like Robert seconds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it's unanimous. Next agenda, so thanks, Matt, appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Dion, if you could take this down,
Yep.
it would be,
You want the comptroller's report?
I don't know if we need it. Why don't we just use the hard copies that were sent, the
Okay.
virtual copies that were sent to us? That way we can see Bob K front and center.
Wow, thank you very much.
Is the dog okay, Bob? Everything all right there?
Everything's good. Oh, you can hear the dog?
No, I heard the conversation. I thought the dog got loose. Everything all right?
No, the dog's in the cage and barking like crazy because it doesn't want to be in the cage.
I don't blame the dog.
I don't blame 'em.
So, all right, so the report was sent out earlier, and our revenues, our budgeted revenue is 79,765. We've collected 34,341,996. When you look at the general tax revenues, you see 31,251,000. That was as of the data we had when Munis put this together October 31st. But looking at the updated figures for October 31st, because there was some deposits made subsequent to the postings, we have 36,197,000. So it's up a little bit. And what's not included in that number right now is the credit card receipts of 652,000. So when you start to add those in and you look at the percentage, because I'm starting to watch those carefully, we're at 54% collection for the year. So we're doing okay, but we're probably within a half a point to a point, a little bit less than last year at this point. But that could be a timing difference, because Ann actually had a report that showed October 5th at 38.8, or call it 39. And I just mentioned 36.8. So there was some money that came in. You know, the last day to collect that was posted for October 31st was last Monday. But you had some money that came in, some big wires, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So that amounted to about $2 million. So I think we're in really good shape. But I want to be cautious about this and just say, you know, let's, watch it from month to month, which we do. We watch it from, week to week, really, when it comes down to it. And, just take it from there. The other expense, not expense, but the revenue items are pretty much in line. We did receive the 1970 from the state for the ECS first payment. So that's the 1,970,000 that's included in the total receipts. And then when you go to the expenses, everything is pretty much in order. I don't see anything popping out. I mean, yeah, if you look at probate court, it looks like we got nothing left, but you got to remember there's 3 other towns that get billed for the cost of the expenses at the end of the year. So we'll make that up. Insurance, like I always say, we pay most of the insurance in the first 4 or 5 months of the year, 6 months of the year. So that's going to look a little skewed. But for the most part, the expenses are in line. I don't see anything that's popping out at this point. So just another item. We did receive from the state. We didn't receive the money yet, but we got notification that on a steep grant, we're going to receive $128,205. So that's a good thing. It's supposed to be used for the Codfish Hill culvert up on Codfish Hill Road. And Tom Galliford, the emergency manager, put in for the second quarter a little bit more than $58,000 in expenses for all the COVID issues that we had, $58,371. And if it's similar to the last time, we're probably going to get reimbursed for all of that. We still have about $72,000 more to get reimbursed for, but that comes in the third quarter when he files it closer to December. So overall, I would just say that, unless something really is important, something's an emergency, we kind of watch what we're spending. and we hold off until April, May, or March, or April, or somewhere along those lines, just to make sure that the money does continue to come in. It appears, according to Ann, that that 1% that we may be behind, and we may not be, but she's thinking that maybe it's coming from real estate owners of rental properties where they're not receiving their rental from the tenants. And at this point, maybe they're not in a cash flow position to make the payments for the taxes. But she couldn't identify exactly, I asked her, how much did we get from the real estate for the personal and how much from the commercial? And she doesn't keep those type of records. We're going to try to dig into that, but at this point, we don't have that information. So, but overall, I think we're real good. We're in good shape. So that's all
Hey,
I gotta
Bob.
say.
Bob,
Yep.
didn't we already approve a certain amount from capital non-reoccurring towards the Codfish culvert?
Yeah, there was a
I
small
seem to
amount.
recall that.
Yeah, that was
How much, do
for
you remember how
design
much
work.
it was?
That was for design work. Yep. But now this money coming in is for the construction of the culvert. So they haven't even gone out to bid on that. So we're going to get the grant, but we have to find out what the actual amounts are going to be once we get the bids in.
Will the grant possibly pay for the design part?
Oh, the design is already paid for. Because we had approved, I think it was $38,000. And so that it came in a little bit less than 38.
Right. So let's just say hypothetically that the second part doesn't come in to be as high as the amount of money you're receiving. So where does that extra?
That can
Let's
be
say
used
if
for
you-
another project at that point. But I don't, based on what the Public Works, utility director who was sitting in for the Public Works director told me today, they're looking at possibly 400,000 for that culvert.
Yeah, that's crazy. Is it a restricted grant? Like, for instance, like you say, it could be used for another project, like if there was any left over, which there probably won't be.
Well, what would happen is we'd have to apply to the state and ask for, the use of the funds, the remaining funds to be used somewhere else. I don't think there's going to be remaining funds. If he said,
Well, I would be surprised if there were, but it just would seem to me, it would seem to make sense to allocate it to the money that was approved for the design, even though we approved it. It just
the
makes
design
sense.
is, we approved it, and at
Right.
this point, this is for construction. Most of the time,
I
with all
got
these-
it.
most of
get
these projects, we have to pay for the design work, and the
Mhm.
state will pay for the construction work. Like with the other bridges we
Okay.
did, in this case, they're not going to pay. It doesn't look like they're going to be paying for the full amount. They had X
Okay.
amount of dollars that they distributed to 96 towns, and for the most part, they distributed that $125,000 to each town.
Okay, just so I understand it. So you're saying that they don't pay for the design part. So even if they could, if it did, it's specifically for construction.
Yeah, I mean, on all the other projects that we worked on, it was always, the town was responsible for the design work, and the state would pay for the construction work, just like on Plumtrees, Taylor, I mean, those
Okay,
bridges.
well, that would have been my
exactly-
answer. We wouldn't even have to have this conversation if you had said that. Like, when I first asked the question about the design, if it never covers
Well,
design.
I
okay.
didn't know you were leading down that road, so, I mean, but that's,
I wasn't,
that's
I was
great.
just,
I mean, we
walking
brought that up at other meetings, so.
Yeah, my,
Hey,
Hey, Bob, I have a question.
This
Yep.
topic was, it's been on the agenda previously. Brad's on, maybe he can recall it. The design work was done maybe a few years ago,
yeah.
recently. And that,
The capital plan has in it 40,000 in 1 year and 35,000 in another year. And it just says replace Codfish Culvert. So that money can be used for design or construction. And of that 75,000, we have spent just under 39,000.
and
Thanks, Brad.
in your capital non-recurring summary, Brad, it shows up as 175,000 remaining.
That is the estimate to do the rest of the work when you factor in what's left in the initial 75,000.
So look, maybe we'll find ourselves being lucky and the cost is less than 400,000. But it sounds like in all events, it's going to be more than what we've already spent. Excuse me, more than what the town has given us, in the state, excuse me, has given us in the steep, grant.
Just one more thing. Just for me, it's helpful to know, like, when we get these grants, what they are specifically for, in case, whether they're really restricted or whether it's more general. That's really was where I was going with it. So thank you, Bob.
Bob, I have a question. Was there something in the design work that came back that would make it closer to 400,000 than what we had budgeted for 175,000?
I don't have any idea. I mean, you would have to talk to the engineers about that. And Matt may know.
That's a pretty substantial difference. So, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Can I ask a question? Did they have drawings or something? Where did the 175,000 number came from? If they didn't just pull it out of a hat, they had to have some kind of drawings to come up with that kind of number. And now it's more than double. That's a little surprising.
I think that the number came out prior to them to actually do, the engineers actually doing the drawings and looking at the properties.
But
But
they
I
just-
can't answer that because I'm not an engineer and I don't know.
Well, presumably whoever is on top of the numbers and the drawings will come to us if they need more money and explain all that.
I'd love to have questions for them. Definitely. Can't wait.
Sure.
I did find it interesting. I actually learned about this. It was in today's Wall Street Journal.
It was
Because
on the radio today too. Yeah.
it was unusual, and I mean, the Journal is more so a national newspaper. It was unusual in that the state was actually handing out construction fees or proceeds when a lot of states weren't in a position to do that.
I think Matt wanted to say something, Bob. I think Matt's been waiting to say something.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure you can hear me. I've been hearing a lot of-
I can't hear him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Matt, we can't hear you.
The other screens do all the usual infotainment things, but they also fun. Games consoles can be plugged in to play in traffic jams or on your lunch break. It's even relaxing. Digital aquarium.
You want to dial in maybe, Matt, and use your cell?
We should probably mute ourselves if we're not talking, which I'm going to do because I hear television or.
Yeah.
Sadly, the right to maneuver is simply not good enough in 2020. Just 137 miles, most buyers will be looking at this as a second.
I hear the BBC in the background.
Suited for city driving with incredible turning circle and relaxed atmosphere.
Well, Matt, are your comments in connection with the culvert? All right, let's save them for when the culvert comes to us through capital non-recurring.
Bob, I'd make a motion to accept Bob Kay's report as reported by him.
Second. Robert seconds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. With that being the conclusion of agenda items, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Oh, hold on, Bob. I want to bring up some new business. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's not on the agenda. Do you want to make a
Yes.
motion to add something to the agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to add discussion about COVID-related expenses at the schools.
I'd second your motion, Brian.
Thank you.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Brian, motion passed.
Nice. That's a first for me.
Not sure we've got the right people here. Terry's not able to join, right, Bob?
No, she's not.
Well,
Good, Bob.
actually, Bob, the requests will actually go through you, and I guess you can reach out if, we think it would be beneficial. I was kind of thinking it might be beneficial for the Board of Finance each month to get a running tally from the schools to see what the additional expenses are for their COVID-related issues, whether it's disinfecting, whether it's, they have to put up more protective barriers. I mean, the schools are closing, they're opening, there's a lot of things going on. And I think it would be really helpful for us to, each month, just if she can shoot you a tally, just so we know where we're at in terms of additional expenses.
Okay, all right, that's fine. And what I can do is I can check with her I know there was a death in the family. That's why she's not on right now, but I'll check with her when she's back in and I'll send an email, where we are so far. We'll do it that way.
Yeah, just
And
like a
then at
monthly
that
tally
point,
each month.
going forward, we can just add to it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All
I
right.
think Terry intended to do that, right? She, if you recall, a few meetings ago, she prepared for us the 4 categories of expenses that they submitted to the state. And she was tracking items within those categories. So yeah, I think it's a tremendous idea. Okay.
Okay. Yep. No, not a problem.
All right. Any other agenda item additions? Not.
Bob, can I make a motion that we adjourn? I want to be 100%.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion?
We didn't make,
Good.
hey, Bob, we didn't make Munson.
Didn't make what?
Munson. We were figuring out how long this
I
meeting
know.
was gonna take.
I know.
So we're looking at numbers from baseball players.
Oh.
Munson was 15.
I don't know if anybody noticed, but Chase Elliott won the championship. It's kind of a big deal in this house. It's not a baseball game, but NASCAR season's over now. Okay.
What was his number?
Number 9.
Number 9. Well, that's Roger Maris for us.
Add Munson to 9 and we get 24. Pretty darn close.
That's
All
right.
right, so all
Exactly. All right.
All those in favor of the motion to adjourn, please signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Stay
Good night.
safe.